Why do you wear those white coats?
Why do you listen to my heart?
Why do you get here so early? Why are you working on your birthday?
Why are you building a new hospital? Why do you have all these machines?
Why do you have toys in your office?
Why do you care?
Why?
At Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, we have the same answer for every why. Because nothing matters more than kids. Give today at choa.org/donate.
Sometimes during Christmas, something magical happens.
Hey, Cricket customers. The Max with Ads plan is included with the Cricket $60 unlimited plan at no additional cost. And this holiday season, Max is the one to watch when you're feeling festive.
Son of a nutcracker!
Cozy up to all the holiday classics, like Elf, 8-Bit Christmas, and the Harry Potter 8 film collection. Just log in with your Cricket username and password to experience Max on all your favorite devices. Phone plan streams and standard definition. Programming subject to change. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi, flying solo tonight. Fruit Loop had something going on, but we just heard about this Anthony Tote case. I remember hearing about it months and months ago, but never really followed up on it. So Kathy Russin had tweeted out that openings are beginning Monday. We're going to cover this for a week or two, however long it goes. Before we get started, we want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Two Cool T-Shirt Quilts. You can go to twocooltshirtquilts.com/pretty lies and alibis. Check them out. They'll get you something really nice. They have supported us for almost a year now, and we're so grateful for Andrea and the crew. All right. First things first, we have not heard anything about this status conference today for Lori. We're keeping an eye on everything. A lot of times things don't get posted in the portal until Friday, kind of at the close of the business day, but we're going to be looking all day tomorrow, see if anything comes up. All right, so let's do this backstory on Anthony Tote. It's a very disturbing case. So I did a little research today just to get ready for Monday, and he's charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of animal cruelty in the killings of his wife, Megan, who was 42 at the time, and their children, Alek, who was 13, Tyler, who was 11, and Zoe, who was 4. The family's dog, Breezy, was also killed. And Anthony lived in the home with the bodies for up to 3 weeks before being arrested. Investigators believe the murders happened in late December of 2019, and Anthony was arrested on January 13th. So a little bit about Anthony and Megan. They were actually high school sweethearts and had moved to from Connecticut to Florida a few years back. Their home was right near Disney World. Celebration, Florida. I think Disney created this community right beside the theme parks. And the state attorney initially declined to pursue death, but the death penalty review panel unanimously agreed death should be sought. He was under investigation for healthcare fraud, and the bodies were discovered while attempting to arrest Tote. And, you kind of start to think, is that the motive? It's kind of like Chandler Halderson, where he had lied and totally hid from everybody what was really going on in his life. He had this altered life happening. But with Tote, he was losing everything. And not only that, was going to get some federal charges. So who knows if that was the motive? It seems kind of like the typical thing you would focus on, though. He was a physical therapist and admitted to stealing thousands of dollars from Medicaid and private insurances by billing for appointments that were just non-existent. And he used tens of thousands of dollars to pay off short-term loans and high-interest business loans, which kind of tells me he must have been in financial trouble before that, taking out these short-term high-interest loans, because those things are like the never-ending story. He was dividing his time between the house in Celebration, Florida, and I think it's Colchester, Connecticut, where he continued seeing his patients. So he would go back and forth. They were facing eviction at their home in Florida, and the eviction proceedings were already pending against his physical therapy office. He told federal investigators that his wife did not know about his financial problems, which I don't know if I believe that, because if bill collectors will call you grandma. I mean, they will call any and everybody to get a hold of you. I kind of find it hard she didn't know. Maybe she had just found out. Who knows? We know that he had flown from Connecticut back to Florida on December 22nd. So that's around the time these murders happened. When police went in, they found the bodies on the second floor of the house. The boys were on a mattress in the floor, and Megan and Zoe were on the bed. Family had not heard from Megan and the kids since before Christmas, and they started to get really worried. So Anthony's sister had called the sheriff's office twice in January for a welfare check for the family, but deputies never made contact. And also, an FBI agent who was working on Anthony's fraud case also called the sheriff's department to have them check on the family, saying that there was an active FBI investigation in Connecticut into Anthony, and he was worried because of that. He said there's been a lot of stuff happening with that case, and he was worried something could be happening with the family due to the investigation. And he said, quote, "God, I hope I'm wrong," end quote. So agents from the Department of Health and Human Services called the sheriff's office on January 13th, saying they had spotted him at the home and requested deputies for help in serving this arrest warrant for him. One thing that will not come in the trial is the federal warrant. The judge ruled against letting that come in the trial. Also, he had given a confession. Now, he had given a confession right after he was arrested, and a judge ruled that could not come in, but we'll talk about some subsequent confessions. So when officers arrived, Anthony took an overdose of Benadryl, and he was hospitalized a few days after. So the Benadryl doses that they found in the system of the victims, Megan had 235 milligrams. Their son Alek had 267 milligrams. Tyler had 383 milligrams. And Zoe had 37 milligrams. So a fatal dose, I believe, is around 300 milligrams. But if you think about it, Benadryl usually comes in 12 and a half milligrams per capsule. And with medicine, it's so many milligrams per kilo. So these probably were all fatal doses in themselves. The official cause of death was listed as homicidal violence of unspecified means in association with Benadryl toxicity.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
The holidays start here at Kroger with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. You could do a classic herb-roasted turkey or spice it up and make turkey tacos. Serve up a go-to shrimp cocktail or use Simple Truth wild-caught shrimp for your first Cajun risotto. Make creamy mac and cheese or a spinach artichoke fondue from our selection of Murray's cheese. No matter how you shop, Kroger has all the freshest ingredients to embrace all your holiday traditions. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
And also, 3 of the 4 family members, the wife and the 2 sons, were stabbed, but the coroner said that, the medical examiner said that did not contribute to their deaths. So all the victims except for Zoe had stab wounds in their abdomen. Now, the wife, Megan, her autopsy showed she was stabbed in the stomach twice, and they also found blood in the abdomen. So the stab wounds happened either right before or during her death. And Alek and Tyler also had stab wounds to the abdomen, but the lack of blood they found in the abdomen indicated this was probably done post-mortem. And this is just so disturbing, but they searched the house for Zoe and they asked Anthony, where was she? And he at first said maybe a sleepover. Then he said in her bed. Then he said in a closet, but they actually found her wrapped in a blanket at her mother's feet. And the reason they didn't see her is because she was so small. Oh, boy. Officials couldn't immediately identify a cause of death due to the decomposition of the bodies. And eventually they were able to make a positive ID from dental records on all of them. So some crime scene photos were released over the last couple of years. None of the bodies, but they're pretty graphic. You can see bloodstains on all the places the bodies were found. They also show 2 bloody knives in the bedroom where the bodies were found and empty packages of Benadryl along with other allergy medications. And they recovered a gun, but as far as we know, none of the victims had gunshot wounds. What's interesting is the gun was bought on December 19th, which is right around that time frame, just a few days before he went back to Florida and the murders happened. Another thing is the boys were found wearing rosaries, and Anthony had a rosary on when he was arrested. Photos of Anthony after his arrest show injuries to his hands and a bruise to his chest, as well as injuries on his neck. In a 17-minute jailhouse call, Anthony told a family member he doesn't remember anything from Christmas to a week after he was in jail. He said the night of the murders, he was trying to find a Mickey Mouse necklace of Zoe's, but fell asleep. Authorities said, now we just talked about this, but after his arrest, he confessed to the murders, but then he told family in the jail call that he does not remember confessing. So a judge ruled that his confession could not be used at trial, saying the detectives recited an incomplete version of the Miranda rights when they interviewed Anthony. But he was interviewed twice after that initial one, and eventually he was read the full Miranda rights, and the judge excluded references to his mental health from being brought in, but he will allow those follow-up confessions to come in. And in his ruling, he said on January 15th, 2020, Detectives Cole Miller and Ryan Quinn obtained a second lengthy and recorded statement from the defendant during which he again detailed his participation in the homicides and the death of the animal. Anthony later said in a letter to his father from jail, which was 30 pages long and is out there, I'm going to read it, but it's a little hard to read, but we'll see if there's anything else in there. But in this letter, he switches gears and says his wife was responsible for murdering the kids when he was not home, and then later committed suicide. In the letter, he said she gave the kids a pie that had Benadryl and Tylenol PM in it. He says, according to her, she woke up at 11:30 and stabbed and suffocated each one. And he says when she was telling him what she had done, which I think this is all hogwash, he did it. He ran to the bathroom and threw up. And she asked him to pray and meditate with her. He said after her confession to him is when she stabbed herself in the abdomen. In the letter, he also said it was peaceful, no signs of struggle, as she said, but I didn't believe her that there wasn't a struggle. I got a warm washcloth and wiped each of their faces, held them, cried, and wanted to make them look more comfortable by cleansing their mouths, eyes, and their nasal passages. So openings begin Monday. We are going to follow this hopefully every day. It seems like it's going to be a very sad, I mean, they're all sad, but man, just these poor babies. We see this a lot where one of the parents has got themselves in a pickle, and for them, the answer is to kill their whole family. We'll see what the evidence puts out there. We'll try to keep an open mind, but call a spade a spade. Anyway, so again, we'll keep an eye on Valo Daybell, see if anything happens. If I wake up at 3 a.m, I always check Vine to see if there's been a change in her location. So we'll see what happens. If nothing happens, we may take tomorrow off. We're both kind of busy this weekend. But if we don't see you tomorrow, we'll definitely see you on Monday. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And don't forget to hit like on the YouTube video, share the podcast. We're trying to grow, but we're trying to do it the right way. All right, guys, talk to you.
When you download the Kroger app, you have easy access to savings every day. Get the most out of weekly sales and receive personalized coupons to save on your favorite items, all while earning 1 fuel point for every $1 spent. Kroger makes it easy to save while you shop, whether it's in-store or online, so you get the most value out of every trip, every time. Download the Kroger app now to save big on your next purchase. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
The holidays start here at Kroger with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. Whether you're making a traditional roasted turkey or spicy turkey tacos, your go-to shrimp cocktail, or your first Cajun risotto, Kroger has all the freshest ingredients to embrace your traditions. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
We've locked in low prices to help you save big store-wide. Look for the locked in low prices tags and enjoy extra savings throughout the store. Kroger, fresh for everyone.